So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Delta Force 2, also known as Delta Force 2 Colombian Connection, also known as Delta Force 2 Operation Stranglehold. This is going to be another canon flick. I love this flick. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. At first, I thought I was going to hate this flick just because obviously the producers worship the cult of the omnipotent state with its drug war and foreign meddling operations of the U.S. government, which in all likelihood were conducted by Oliver North and the CIA back in the 1980s. This one is 1990. And at the time, Colombia was pouring cocaine into the United States by the gazillion tons. So naturally, the politicians were freaking out. And it makes sense that the government would use the army to go after drug dealers in South America. I could totally see that. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. Billy Drago plays the South American drug dealer. I'm confused by the title of this movie, or one of the titles, the Colombian Connection, because they're calling this fictional country San Carlos, which is supposed to be the a clone of Colombia, I guess. But why would they call it the Colombian Connection if the country's named San Carlos? That's what I don't understand. And San Carlos is actually a city close by to where I live. So a little confusing there, but nonetheless, the build-up is kind of slow in this one. If you go to the last half of the movie, it's just nothing but action and explosions, kind of like the American Ninja series. But it's got Chuck Norris doing his kick-ass kung fu moves. That was pretty cool. Lots of incredible explosions. Some really hot-looking Hispanic babes. Unfortunately, you don't get to see the rape scene between Billy Drago and one of the Hispanic babes. She just wears this really scantily clad tank top thingy where you get a side view. Not much else, unfortunately. And there's another babe who's hanging on the arm of El General. He's, but again, no nudity in this one. Very, very unfortunate, because both of those Hispanic ladies are hotter than heck. And let's get to the story, shall we? So Billy Drago plays drug dealer. He was also in the Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. TV show, and a bunch of other stuff. He's great as the evil drug dealer. And so he's in Rio de Janeiro partying it up at some kind of Mardi Gras ball. These DEA agents, led by Richard Jaeckel, are going after him, looking for him at this party. They masked the wrong guy, and all of the DEA agents who are orchestrating this thing from a trailer truck end up getting shot dead. So Richard Jaeckel goes back there to see their bloody corpses, and then John P. Ryan, who's the Army general, he gets Colonel Chuck Norris and his sidekick Major friend to go after the guy to drag him into court. So so they nab him in an airplane. They parachute him back to the courtroom, apparently, and then the Billy Drago, drug dealer, evil man, starts smack talking the major guy in court after he gets released on $10 million bail by the judge there. And so the major friend guy, he punches Billy in the face, drug dealer Billy Drago, and that really POs Billy Drago. He sends his drug goons. There's this one guy, looks like Carlos Santana with long hair, bald head. He and his Billy Drago goons shoot up the dude's wife and his basketball star kid. Then the guy goes nuts. He wants to go after Billy Drago. Personally, he goes to South America where he's watching some kind of polo match, and he's within shooting range, but Richard Jaeckel's DEA goons turn him away, and then he promptly gets captured by Billy Drago and his drug dealer hired goons. So they torture the guy. They lock up the other DEA agents. There's 3 of them, and so the major gets the gas chamber treatment. Billy Drago stabs some traitor dude who's tipping off the border or the drug interdiction, whatever it's called, the border patrol, the drug interdiction. Some dude internally is tipping him off, so he stabs him in the stomach while he's gas chambering the other dude. And so he sends Billy Drago sends a VHS tape of the whole gas chamber death snuff thing, and to John P. Ryan, the Army general. And then John P. Ryan gets the okay from the president. I guess it's President Herbert H.W. Bush at this point to basically invade the country and wreak havoc over there, which he proceeds to do. Chuck Norris goes ahead of him, though. For some reason, he has to climb some steep mountain to get to Billy Drago's compound, and a lot of good kung fu and mixed in there. he meets the Carlos Santana dude with the long hair and the porn mustache. Tells him, "Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple lessons. Then school's out," and then the guy gets impaled on some kind of sharp thingy that's hanging on the wall. And then Billy Drago comes in there, captures Chuck Norris, sticks him in the gas chamber. But then John P. Ryan always manages to show up in the nick of time in his helicopter with his missiles and his machine guns and stuff. He starts blasting away Billy Drago's compound. Lots of explosions and things. Oh yeah, did I mention that Billy Drago went to the coca fields where El General, the corrupt government official there, is protecting him. And there's that comely Hispanic lady that I was telling you about. She's holding her sick baby, and she doesn't want to work. So Billy Drago gets all mad, shoots her husband who's working out in the cocoa fields right in front of her, kills her baby, and then rapes her, and then uses the baby for drug smuggling. So that's one of the scenes that I forgot to mention. So as getting back to the latter part of the movie, as John P. Ryan is blasting away on Billy Drago's compound, he manages to shatter the glass in the gas chamber. So Chuck Norris jumps out, breaks the glass. Richard Jaeckel comes and unties him, and they escape in some kind of bulletproof Oldsmobile that Billy Drago owns. They stick him in the back seat, and these drug dealers are chasing him. But El General starts chasing after Chuck Norris in the Oldsmobile. He keeps shooting up the Billy Drago's men's trucks instead of Chuck Norris. Finally, he hits Chuck Norris' car. It starts firing up, and they escape in the jungle. They go to the village. Don't ask me how they got back to the village after Chuck Norris had to climb that steep mountain to get to the compound. How do they get back down if it's supposed to be a straight drop? It's not exactly a plot hole, though, because there is no plot to this movie. It's just mindless entertainment. It's the cheese factor is way up there. It gets a low rating on IMDb, like a 4.8, which is pretty mediocre. People were saying that it was not as good as the original one. There's supposed to be a sequel to this, Part 3, Delta Force 3 or something, that doesn't even have Chuck Norris in it. I've never seen either of those, either the first Delta Force or the Delta Force 3. And they were also saying that it's also a ripoff on Chuck Norris Missing in Action, another canon flick, which I haven't seen. So I'm coming into this totally unbiased. Okay, I know it could have been a better movie if it had nudity in it, but it's just, the last half of the movie is just incredible, and well worth the relatively boring build up with not much going on in the first half of the movie. John P. Ryan has one of the greatest lines in cinematic history, namely when he says, "Shut the F up." He's talking about his general disregard for military protocol. He's the kind of guy who shoots first and asks questions later, that kind of thing. So that was pretty funny. A little unintentional humor there. And yeah, great flick. Highly recommended. Check it out. I'll post the movie, the trailer, anything I can find in the description box. And that's the end of my review. Laters.